What's going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music, and today's a little bit of a sad day. Today I ended up having to put to rest a near and dear friend of mine. A friend of mine that I've known for the better part of 10 years. Been a really dependable friend. Someone that's been there for me consistently over the course of 10 years. But like everything else in life, just as there's a beginning to everything, there's also an end. It always hurts to bury someone that's so close to you. So can I get some sad music? Oh, yeah, that'll work perfectly. Thank you. And it's with a heavy heart I say farewell to the Denon DN X120. Yeah, I'm just fucking with you. All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of dramatic acting. That was all off the dome, by the way. There was no script for that at all. And I wanted to do sort of like a post-mortem on my old DJ mixer, because I've had this thing for the better part of 10 years, about 10 years or so. I think I picked it up in 2008, and despite the fact that it looks like this mixer has actually served me very well. And the only reason actually that I am getting rid of it is I wanted added functionality of all the different effects that the Pioneer DJ mixer had to offer, and this just didn't have that. And that's the only reason that I'm getting rid of this, is largely because I actually really love this mixer. And despite its pretty low price point, this is actually a mixer you might want to check out, especially if you're just looking for something for home use. So with that little introduction out of the way, I want to talk a little bit about this guy and let you know if you are looking to pick up a DJ mixer on the cheap, you might want to grab this guy. So as I said, I picked this mixer up in 2008, and I've been using it as my home mixer ever since. I've basically stuck to this mixer for the longest time because it's been so reliable. Everything about this mixer still works. All the outputs, be it the balanced outputs on the back or the RCAs over here, still work just fine. The RCA connections or the phono still work just fine. And I use this mixer strictly for DJing with vinyl. I'm not using it for DVS or anything like that. And this mixer has held up very well. The one thing I will say that kind of sucked was shortly after picking this mixer up, one of the ground connections actually broke off, which left me with one for the longest time, which was really annoying, because one thing that I really liked about this mixer when I picked it up in the first place was that it actually had two individual ground connecting points, and losing that was pretty hard. It was pretty gut-wrenching. But in terms of features, this is a pretty bare bones mixer. It does feature a crossfader adjust, so you can adjust the curve to give you something more for scratching and something more for mixing and something in between. So one thing that I've always seen pop up when people talk about this mixer is that the up and down faders don't have an adjustable curve on it, and that is actually not true. I found this out through playing around with this mixer, that actually the adjustment for the up and down mixing faders is actually the crossfader adjustment. So anything that you adjust here adjusts here. On top of that, it's got a 3-band EQ, so you got low, mid, high, just as you normally would. You've got your gain here. You do have a mic input, and one feature I really like about this, and I'm actually kind of sad the Pioneer mixer doesn't have this, is a on-off switch for the mic. I've been using this mixer to record all of my Raw Select radio shows, link in the description, and this mixer has been very helpful in that I don't have to tweak any of the mic settings. I just set it, turn it off when I'm not using it, and turn it back on when I am using it. And it also does have an automatic volume kill to leave the volume at a audible level, but still allow you to talk over the music at the same time. So that's actually a really cool feature. The mic also comes with a high and low adjust, which is pretty cool. Plus, one thing that I really like about this is the cue system on here. You've got your typical level and really simple cue to master pan as well as mix, and it does lock in at the mix point, which is it's a nice little feature. And what I really do like about this, as opposed to a lot of the Pioneer mixers, is when you have it at mix, even if you only have one channel queued, you can hear the track that is playing through the master in your headphones without having to hit one more separate switch. So I really like that aspect of this mixer. On top of that, which isn't necessarily the most useful feature of a mixer, but it does have a stereo right to left speaker pan, which I think is actually extremely useful when you're setting up your equipment and really getting a feel as to whether or not you're getting a balanced sound coming through both sides of your speakers. When you're dealing with old RCA cables, it happens a lot where you find that the RCA or ground cable may not be grounding very well, and occasionally you'll notice slight subtle differences in your balance between left and right channels, and this is a good way to sort of adjust that. You can actually get around some of those difficulties, as well as just being able to test the speakers on both, on your left and right channels. Master for everything, and the one reason you wouldn't call this a professional mixer is there's no booth channel, so you can't really hook it up for a monitor. Not a big deal, because you could still use the two separate outputs that you have here, being that you have two masters, and you could set it up another way where the speakers have their own volume setting. So having the option of having two separate outputs, also extremely handy. One thing that I think is really cool about this mixer is that it was originally meant as a control mixer for Denon CDJs that came out at the same time as this unit. And surprisingly, this mixer actually works really well as a turntable mixer, specifically for home, and specifically if you're working on the cheap. I think I picked this up for about Sanman, or about 30,000 yen, so about 300 bucks, but it's gone down considerably in price. And there really aren't that many faults to it, especially a lot of the faults that maybe might come to mind. Most of it's just sort of general wear and tear of me bringing it out to DJ events or bringing it out to some of the less than optimal sort of environments to be using this thing. But this thing is held on very strongly. I guess a few minor little criticisms is its AC adapter is just absolutely befuddling. Who uses that sort of Ethernet cable connector for a power adapter? It's just absolutely absurd. And like I said, I'm assuming this is mostly just a wear and tear issue, but the connection for my AC adapter, this guy right here, has gotten really weak over time. And whereas before it used to lock into place when I had it plugged in, now it comes out with ease. So yeah, not the greatest design. But if this is a mixer that you're just gonna keep at home and you're not really gonna take it out on the road or anything like that, this mixer works perfectly. And also, considering that this mixer will probably cost you considerably cheaper than a lot of preamps, actually functions pretty well if you just have a pair of shitty computer speakers at home and don't have enough money to go out and buy a preamp. You could buy a turntable, run it into this thing, and then run it into a pair of crappy speakers, and you'd be all set to go. From my understanding, looking around a little bit on the internet, this thing goes for about $50 to $200 depending on the condition of it. And I actually recommend, if you're looking to buy a mixer on the cheap, this is not a bad mixer. Am I saying it's an industry standard by any stretch of the imagination? Fuck no. This mixer has served me very well, and I definitely recommend this to anybody who's looking to buy a DJ mixer on the cheap. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. I know I'm talking about an ancient piece of technology in today's world, but I felt like this mixer has been sort of a part of my DJ setup and a part of my DJing for a very long period of time. So I felt like I needed to give it its proper send-off. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely planning on, after spending a bit more time with it, going into a deep dive of the Pioneer DJM 450, which I picked up. And if you haven't checked out my unboxing video, please check that one out. You could probably find a link for it somewhere in this space. Please give that one a watch. So guys, until the next video, peace out!